Hello and welcome to the week ahead. Man, what a market. I don't know what else I can say. What a freaking market. I think if this was a baseball game, the Bulls are mercy ruling the Bears. It's just straight up destruction. I haven't been trading that long, only like 5 years, but this is unprecedented. I've gone back and looked at the charts and I don't know that there's ever been anything like this before. And so this is essentially, I think Shadow Trader called it seller shut off from this top to this bottom, 42 bars, so 42 trading days to get from the top to the bottom, and then 13 trading days. That's crazy. From up here to down here, 42, from here to here, 13. So that is just completely all this selling that was so hard to do, all this chop and like, oh, what's going to happen, all this fighting for the Bears to get lower. Look what we did. The Bulls just completely demolished all of this and sliced through it like butter. So no point in going over the past any more than that. We all know what happened. This is a situation that we're in, and everybody wants to know, where is the top? And when the top happens, what happens next? I think that's really the big thing that's on everybody's mind. It's certainly on top of mine. I'm in a unique situation where I only have 5 trading days left before I go away for a few weeks. And so this is my last weekend video that I'm going to do for probably about a month because I will be away traveling. And because I'm going to be away traveling, I've been locking in gains. And so I've had a wonderful year this year trading so far. All this choppy mess on the way down, basically from all the way back here in January, here to where we are now, this has been my best trading I've ever done in my entire career. And I have just had the most profitable month I've ever had as a trader. And that doesn't mean I'm making tons and tons of money because I'm not trading at the size I would love to be trading with yet. I'm scaling up, but I'm very, very happy with the progress. Like the fact that I can trade and make money through all this choppy mess to all the way down and on the way back up here. I feel like it's another level up for me as a trader, and I'm super, super happy and excited. So as I'm going to be traveling for a few weeks, I'm not thinking about longs, shorts, hedges, nothing. I'm just thinking about locking in gains and then picking up again when I get back. So I'm in a unique situation to not care too much what happens next. So I feel like that's actually the perspective that you should probably always have as a trader, is be looking at very objectively just what could happen and what am I going to do if that does happen, what shouldn't happen and what am I going to do if that does happen, and looking at both sides of that coin and trying to figure out what to do. So I did some stuff this week that I think you're going to find pretty cool, but I'll get into that in a minute. First, I'm going to just jump out and say I thought this was an interesting take from Shadow Trader, where he looked at the monthly candles and saw basically a channel here. And I think it worked out better on SPY, and he might have even just been doing it on futures. But either way, he's looking for a top somewhere at the top of this channel, and that's fine. I don't know, that could work. I'm not a big line guy. I'm more on like price action is really what drives things to me. I don't care too much about lines. They can be useful to denote breaks of lines, but I don't see them as a quote unquote line in the sand or anything. So we'll see. I think every day everybody's surprised that it keeps going higher. So what do I look at when I'm thinking about this stuff? What do I think is going to happen? So I'll show you what I think. I did something that I've been paying a lot more attention to in the last few months is historic RSI levels. This is something that I know Chart Guys Joey has been harping on for quite a while, that he uses it in his trading very frequently, especially on shorter term time frames to find climax tops and climax bottoms. And so I actually rolled it into my RSI grid indicator. I have not released this version yet of this indicator. You can get this indicator today, but it doesn't have the latest code. I've done a big overhaul of everything in here, but the big addition is the historic RSI stuff. So this black box here means that 4 hour is historically overbought. And what that means is it's within the top 90th percentile that the 4 hour RSI has ever gotten. And you can see that here on my indicator. I'll just expand this so you can see what I'm talking about. There it is. So this blue line right here, that is basically overbought. So that demarks when price gets to 70 or higher, and 70 RSI or higher. The blue line down here is 30 or lower. And then what we have above here, this is the 90th percentile for overbought. So as soon as you get into this shaded area, you're now into historical overbought territory. And the red line here is the absolute ceiling that this has ever gotten on the 4-hour time frame for the plan that I'm on for this stock. So this works across every stock, it doesn't really matter. It looks at the highest RSI has ever gotten on all the 4-hour bars that have ever been rendered on this particular chart. And I have an ultimate account on TradingView, so I think I get a lot of data to get this exact number. So basically right there at 88.19 is the highest it's ever gotten on the 4-hour time frame. We're in there now. We're at 84.6, and if we get up to like 88-ish, we're basically going to be setting a new high, which at this point, I would not be surprised. Same thing down here at the bottom. If you get into the green zone, you're in the 90th percentile for down. And then if you touch this green arrow, or the dark green line at the bottom, that's 8.5 basically. That's the lowest RSI has ever gotten on the 4-hour time frame. So we're already there in the 4-hour, and that's what you were seeing on this RSI grid indicator is when I turn it black background. I have pink for when you're into overbought territory or oversold territory. I have a black background when you're into historical overbought or oversold. And down here, you can see on this indicator here, I just have the regular RSI, and you can see when you're in that zone. But I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you could actually see the price that it would need to get to be completely historical overbought? And if I could basically draw this range here on this chart. And so I made some code changes today to be able to do that, and I'll show you what that looks like. So from my custom RSI indicator, which I have not released this anywhere, so don't go looking for it. I might release it at some point, but I got some cleanup to do. If I go show price plots, now it's going to show me, so this red line here, that is overbought on this time frame. And then this shaded area here is essentially the same as the one down here on the RSI indicator. So this is, you're in the historical RSI when you're in this zone. And if you get to this top line, you're basically pushing a brand new historical RSI level. So we're right there. We're pretty darn close. And if we could actually like we could measure how far are we from historical RSI on the 4-hour time frame. About 1.3% away from a brand new historical level on the 4-hour time frame. And so this is kind of cool because you can sort of zip through time frames and see how close are we. So to me, the most interesting one is the daily time frame because that's the one that everybody's looking at the most. And this is interesting. Look how far away it is still. Look how far away it is still. We just got overbought on the daily. We're just into it. We got into it on Thursday, pushed up higher on Friday. And these are inching their way up. Like this would take many, many, many days, I think, unless we had a super strong rally day out of the blue, which would be crazy at this point. I mean, we're already into crazy. But I think we're looking at, to get to even into the historical overbought zone, you're looking at 4.2%, 4-ish% just to get into that zone. So that, I don't know how that possibly happens, but who knows? It's possible. And so I'm not in a rush to fight this move. Now, if we just go back to traditional TA the kind of TA I do every day without these fancy schmancy indicators on the chart. So this is the hourly time frame on QQQ. And basically, so let's go from the bottom so you can see the whole thing. What you have here, this is the hourly time frame, and then the blue line here is the hourly EMA 12, the brown line here is the hourly EMA 26, and the purple line here is the 4-hour EMA 12. So what I've been watching this entire time and waiting for every day is, it looks like from this day here on April 7th, we had that gap up and then balance that held the hourly, dropped here once, held the 4-hour, and we've basically been holding the hourly EMA 12 ever since. Much to the chagrin of every bear in the world. And not even coming in for a dip, like even on Friday, like we couldn't touch hourly EMA 12, could not do it. And on this dip in the afternoon and still continued higher. And there's basically a 650 ceiling, which at this point I would be shocked if we didn't break through that. 650 exactly was the high on Friday. I'd be shocked if we don't break that ceiling on Monday. And so hourly, hold. And the general rule that I follow when I'm trading, especially on shorter term time frames when I'm trying to buy a dip or something like that, is if I'm looking for a dip, let's say there's an EMA coming down like this, and price under it is doing this sort of a thing, right? So it's riding an EMA down, and on a higher time frame, I'm expecting that this is going to be a higher low. Like the price has been coming from down here somewhere, and I'm looking for a higher low to get long, right? And so when that happens, and I'm looking for that higher low, what I'm really looking for is change, right? Like this has been touch down, touch down, touch down, touch down. I want to see something change. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not even going to think about buying anything until something changes, right? I want a sign. Give me a sign before I start to get excited and interested. And so what I'm looking for is give me a break above. Just give me one break above. And that doesn't mean I buy. It just means, oh, that's different. It's not being held down by that moving average anymore. Now I'm seeing something different. And when it comes down again, if it goes below, that's fine. But something has changed. This is going to start to curve. And then you start oscillating around it. And then finally, you get a higher low. Like here's a double bottom. Maybe you get a higher low. That's the change I'm looking for, right? So anytime, and I'm a big dip buyer. This is how I buy dips. This is like the name of my game. I'm looking for larger term moving averages that are going up, shorter term moving averages that are coming down, and I want to see change occurring on the smaller one so I can get in on the higher one and get a move up. That's how I trade. That's like my bread and butter. And so today, when I'm looking at QQQ on the hourly time frame, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that we're riding this moving average, and I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not really interested in a short. I'm not really interested in a long. I'm just watching. I'm just waiting. There's nothing for me to do here. And the very first time that we get a break of this moving average, that's new information, and now I need to know what is going to happen next. Because in my mind, it's going to be one of two things. Either we're going to set a higher low quickly and keep going up, which would be like on the 4-hour time frame, maybe we catch one of those. And obviously I'm not just looking at the moving average, but I'm looking for where's some balance that could be a place that ends up being support, right? And so are we going to stop there? Are we going to stop lower? Because honestly, just look at this in the daily time frame. We have not yet set a higher low since here, right? So the move that we're measuring against is this. Okay, so from this low to this high, we're looking for a retracement, and we want to know how far is it going to go. And obviously, the places that I look for a higher low on the daily time frame, I'm looking for it to come down and touch the daily EMA 12. That would be great. And the best place I find to catch a daily higher low is when you get hourly oversold conditions, which is right about there right now. So right around 630 right now, but that's assuming that this high is going to be the high. We don't know where the high is going to be yet, right? So this is what I'm looking for. If we get a flush down into hourly oversold conditions when we finally set a top, then I'll be looking for the daily EMA 12 in hourly oversold conditions for a move back up. And obviously, like I just explained on the smaller time frame, I'm looking for a moving average that is riding down so I can figure out the right place to get long. But yeah, we don't know where that's going to be, and there's nothing to do until that happens. And if you're not even sure, like if that's going to happen, if you don't have any clue, the easiest thing you can possibly do is just watch the daily time frame and set an alert at the low of the last trading day, and just call it YLOD, yesterday low of day. Put an alarm on it. Boom. Now, when price is starting to finally roll over and it breaks the low of the prior day, that's your first clue that you need to perk up and pay attention and see where is this thing going to bottom out. And for me, that's just a simple matter of like, go down to the smaller time frames, go down to the 4-hour, the 1 hour, the 15-minute, and watch those moving averages and see, are any of them being ridden on the way down? And if they are, that's going to be your key for change. But typically when these moves happen on a flush, they tend to happen with a bit of panic. Like people don't just slowly have a nice, slow, steady move down. Typically on these flushes, and this is why bears love to be bears, it moves more like this, and then a move back up. Like it comes rapidly down and then move up. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't know the magnitude of whatever move happens when we eventually do get a higher low. But that's typically how it goes. It's like flush fast, back out. So maybe that would be the 4-hour higher low, would look something like that. Or maybe, a little bit of a gimme and then way down for a daily EMA 12 and then back up. I don't know, I'm drawing terrible drawings, but you get the idea. So that's it. I think we just wait and see. When are we going to get the hourly EMA 12 broken? When are we going to get the prior day low broken? And when we do, how deep is that cut? Do we touch the 4-hour and keep pushing bulls? Or do we go deeper and then push back up? Personally, if I was here trading it, if it happens next week, obviously what I would be looking for is a serious flush down to daily EMA 12 and out. Give me this move here with hourly oversold, and that's where I'm super excited to get long again. Because the thing is, you got to think about like all the people who have not been in on this move, all the people who were like, didn't believe the rally, and now they're stuck. Like they're not in, they didn't get a position, and they're like, what's going to happen? Like, oh my God, we're pushing all-time highs and I don't have a position. Oh my God. They're going to be waiting for the very first dip to get long, because they were waiting for that dip here. They were waiting for that dip here. They were waiting for that dip here. Every open, they're like, today's the day we're going to get the dip. And then they didn't get it, and they didn't get it, and they didn't get it. And every day that they didn't get it was a day they should have bought, but they didn't. And now they're like, oh my God, I'm desperate. So as soon as that dip happens, they're going to need it. They're going to want it and need it, and they're going to go for it. And they're going to be looking at all-time highs. They're going to be like, oh, move above, back test, and go. Like if we get a hourly oversold for a daily higher low right at that prior top, are you kidding me? People are going to buy that. That's my 2 cents anyway. Again, you never know. This isn't financial advice, but I'm just saying, in this market, the way it's been going and people being left in the dust, they're going to be chomping at the bit to get in when they can. I know that there's probably dip buyers everywhere who are like, oh my God, when's this dip coming? Because I've been feeling it too. I have a position from way down here, and I'm still wishing that there would be a dip so I could add more, and there just has not been. Not since down here and then the big surprise gap up. So that's it. That's it for me. I don't have anything else to share. I hope you guys have a wonderful trading week. I hope you have a wonderful trading month. Don't give back. If you've made profit on this huge rally, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Don't give it back. Don't give it back. Take advantage of what you've been able to achieve, and thank the market gods, and be ready for anything. All right. Have a great week and happy trading. Hey, if you like my indicators on TradingView and you like the content I'm producing here on this channel, please remember to like and subscribe.